671 2535.
And now a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. A 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms this evening, mainly before 9 p.m., and patchy fog in the morning. Overnight low will be around 66 degrees. And heading into tomorrow, rain is going to be the name of the game. 80% chance of precipitation throughout the day, so be alert. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
76 years strong, and we're still the one. WSIC News, Talk, Now.
Everyone, welcome back to the Scoreboard here on WSIC 105.9 100.7 FM, and always streaming video to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, the website WSICnews.com. You can find us anywhere. Like I said, we're worldwide now. We're going global. But anyway, welcome back to the Scoreboard. We have a lot to get to today. We had football last night. The NFL. Yeah, it's back. Pretty awesome. The Lions taking on the Chiefs. We'll definitely break that game down and some of the storylines from that game. The Lions. What did I say at the end of the show in the last 1 minute? Let's see. In the last 1 minute of the show yesterday, I said, hey, I think the Lions are going to win this game. Well, it seems like that wasn't a bad idea. We also got Panthers coming up on Sunday. We have NASCAR coming up on Sunday. Baseball, lots of playoff battles going on. We still don't know who's going to take control of the AL West. The wild card is getting even closer. There's a lot going on in baseball, but we'll start by always saying, if you have something you'd like to talk about, something on your mind, a story that you saw that you'd like for me to look into, give me a call, 704-873-1400. We'll take that call, and we'll see what we got. So the NFL season started last night, and the Lions took down the Chiefs. Yeah, I know we all had that one on our bingo board going into the NFL season, that the Lions would squeak by 21-20. And I mean, hey, a win's a win. Now, I don't agree with some of the rhetoric that was being thrown around after that game, like, hey, the Lions should have an asterisk next to this one. I don't believe that at all. I think a win is a win, and it doesn't matter who's hurt, who's healthy. If you win, it counts as a win. No asterisk, no, oh yeah, but. Well, yeah, I get it. They're missing two of their best players, the best offensive weapon, and one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL. But you still have to play the game, and there's a lot of storylines with this one. First and foremost, Jawan Taylor. I know everybody was looking at, the right tackle for the Chiefs and saying, why in the world are they not calling him for a false start? Now, I've looked into this. There's a few videos where you can clearly see that Taylor jumps early and it didn't get called. But for the most part, it was pretty much on time. Now, there were a couple where I was like, all right, you have to call this, and they didn't call it. I don't know. This is something that needs to be cleaned up. It became an issue late in the season last year, I feel like, especially in the playoffs, where we would see players jumping just a hair early or so on time that it seemed early. I don't know if there's a way to fix this. I don't know if there's a way to change the rule of a false start to include the tackle throwing his leg back a microsecond before the ball is snapped, it's hard to see in real time. When you slow it down, it's obvious. And I'm looking at videos of it right now. Not only was he jumping early, but the tackle is supposed to line up like no deeper than the belt line of the center. And Collinsworth pointed this out. Taylor was lining up in the slot sometimes almost because he was so far back. I just don't really understand why the relaxed rules when it came to false start, illegal lining up, stuff like that. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Now, the other thing. Oh boy, Chiefs. Oh boy, Chiefs. So, your top weapon is gone. Okay. We lost our number one guy. Whatever. Travis Kelce's out. The next guys up should, step up, perform, be a little bit better, try a little bit harder. That's not really what happened here for the Chiefs. Unfortunately, they had a lot of issues with their receivers and dropping the ball. Kadarius Toney dropped a couple of really big passes. One of them picked off, returned for a touchdown, and guess what? That was the difference in the game. You get rid of that pick six, and guess what? Chiefs win. I would hope that the Chiefs are going to look into getting some more weapons for Mahomes during the season, because as great as he is, he can't do it by himself out there. And that's what it seemed like he was doing. I mean, he ran for the most yards on the team. Nobody had more than 50 receiving yards on the day. It was just a tough game all around. And credit to the Lions defense. But the Chiefs just didn't look like the Chiefs. And when you take away somebody like Travis Kelce, who commands that much attention from a defense, it's going to change the way your offense runs. And we saw it last night on display. The Chiefs just weren't the same team. Now, trust me, they'll be okay. The Chiefs will go on. They'll win like 12, 13 games. But I'm not going to be the one that says, oh my goodness, the Chiefs lost week 1. It's over. Dynasty over. Goodbye, Chiefs. Time to move on to a new team. Mahomes is washed. No. It's just silly. That's just silly. The Chiefs are going to be just fine. They're going to be battling for the title of the AFC West all year. They're probably going to win it again, and they'll be going deep into the playoffs the way they always do, because they're a really solid team. And I expect Chris Jones to be back at some point. I don't think this holdout is going to last forever, especially after it was reported that even if he, sits out an extended amount of time, the Chiefs will not be looking to trade him. Just shows me that, hey, if you want to play, if you want to make your money, you better just get out there, sign an extension and get out there. And this is all premature too. He's on the last year of his deal. I don't understand why he's holding out. Sometimes these holdouts, they just don't make sense to me. We're going to stick with the NFL talk when we return. I promised you we were going to spend some time previewing the Panthers game. And well, guess what? When we come back, next segment, Panthers, Falcons, we'll preview it right here on the scoreboard. Stay tuned here on WSIC 105.9, 100.7 FM. We'll be back after this.
If you have an upcoming event, let WSIC spread the word. Go to WSICnews.com and click on the Community Calendar button. WSIC, Proud to be part of your community.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Looking for a night of laughs? This Saturday, Mike Goodwin, who's been on America's Got Talent, is coming to Kane Center for the Arts in Cornelius. Kane Center for the Arts' 2024 fall season, comedian Mike Goodwin, this Saturday, September 9th. For more info, visit kanearts.org. The Iredell County Agricultural Fair is going on right now. For $5 until September 9th, enjoy thrills and yummy treats. Going on at the Iredell County Fairgrounds in Troutman, the Iredell County Agricultural Fair runs through this Saturday. Apple picking at Kerrigan Farms is here. The apple picking at Kerrigan Farms is a very short window. Apple picking will end September 30th. Only in September. Book your experience now at kerriganfarms.com. The Full Bloom Film Festival is happening this week, September 7th, 8th, and 9th in Statesville. Happening on Meeting Street in downtown Statesville, the Full Bloom Film Festival features diverse quality cinema. Where I Belong, the documentary about the life of Statesville's own Rocky Lynn, will play twice. For more info, visit fullbloomfilmfestival.org. Lost Worlds Brewing is hosting their 3rd annual Harvest Market. Celebrate autumn on Sunday during the Harvest Market with tasty beer, food, and live music. This is happening at Lost Worlds Brewing in Cornelius. Harvest Market is from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. Sunday at Lost Worlds Brewing. For more info, visit lostworldsbeer.com. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
And now a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. A 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms this evening, mainly before 9 p.m., and patchy fog in the morning. Overnight low will be around 66 degrees. And heading into tomorrow, rain is going to be the name of the game. 80% chance of precipitation throughout the day, so be alert. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Always ready to help you make it fun to work outside. Little Shavers Wood Shop stocks up on all your wood, treated lumber, wood fencing, and all the treatment items to keep them looking great. PBG, paints, and stains, and add in some pine needles and Daddy Pete's mulch and soils, and your landscaping will be the best around. Tools, supplies, and just about all you need is ready for you at Little Shavers. Head on over to Little Shavers, 3301 Salisbury Highway, right in between Statesville, Morrisville, and Moxville. Visit littleshaverswoodshop.com. That's LILShaverswoodshop.com.
Thought-provoking conversations and informed perspectives.
It's meant for everyday people to understand, and you don't have to stress about technical terms and stuff. They just say it like a real person.
WSIC News Talk Now.
All right, we are back here on the Scoreboard, WSIC 1059 100.7 FM, and always streaming video to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. We're worldwide. And 704-873-1400. That is the phone number. If you have something you want to talk about. Do you want to talk about the Panthers' upcoming game on Sunday? There's a lot we need to talk about because we have injuries. Oh, man. And I'll tell you what. One of them is going to be unfortunate because Bryce Young's already going to lose a weapon before we even get to week 1. So the Carolina Panthers have ruled out wide receiver DJ Chark for Sunday game with a hamstring injury, and wide receiver Adam Thielen is questionable. And as far as Brian Burns goes, still no information. He practiced, but we haven't heard whether or not he's playing. He's been, hopeful, I guess is the word. I don't know if they've officially reported him as questionable yet. I haven't seen that, but Frank Wright should be in to meet with reporters soon. Hopefully we'll shed some light on Brian Burns. Said he looked good in practice. I'm going to assume Brian Burns is going to be playing. Big. We kind of need him out there. But as far as not having Chark, and man, I'll tell you what, if Adam Thielen's not going to be playing too, rookie wide receiver Jonathan Mingo, hello, step on up. Please show us what you can do in week 1 because, we're going to need you. They are definitely going to be needed. So we got the Falcons on Sunday at 1 o'clock in Atlanta. Bryce Young with his first career start. What are we expecting for Bryce Young? Are we looking for a stellar performance? Are we looking for him to just hold his own and be more of a game manager for week 1 and just kind of say, you know what, we're going to get through this game. I'm not going to make any huge mistakes. I think we could see that. Probably heavy on the run game, especially with Miles Sanders and Chuba Hubbard as the running back tandem there. I can see them going run heavy. Maybe not for the whole game, but at least to start, Week 1, the nerves are going to be running, I'm sure. Number 1 overall pick. Put the ball on the ground a couple of times. And I'm not saying fumble it. Please do not fumble. Run the ball a few times. And then, work in the play action and open up the offense a little bit. Hopefully, it'll work and they'll get some drives going and Bryce Young will look good. But that Atlanta defense is nothing to really mess with here. They've really overhauled over the past season with getting some more defensive players out there. One big addition we haven't really spoken too much about, that being Calais Campbell for the Falcons. So definitely a big piece down on the defensive line to have to worry about now. But Grady Jarrett as the nose tackle, he's one of the as the edge rusher. He's a good edge rusher too. It's going to be an interesting game. I love division games. I don't love division games that start the season, and I especially don't love that the Panthers are going back-to-back division games to start the season. At least week 2, it's a Monday night game. At least, I guess. But starting on Sunday, 1 o'clock against the Falcons, I think they're going to win. I've been saying it for the past 3 weeks, ever since I did my Panthers preview show during the preseason. I said they're going to come out of the gate strong, expect them to win week 1, but then it could go downhill from there. So as always, make sure you catch the Panthers game. If you can't watch it, you can always listen to it right here on WSIC. That game will be aired. Tune in, listen to the game. We are your home for the Panthers. Previewing some other games that are coming up this weekend besides the Panthers, some pretty interesting games. We have the Niners at the Steelers. We have the Packers at the Bears, already a division game. Again, Sunday Night Football, Cowboys, Giants. 2 teams that made the playoffs last year. Somehow the Giants made it. Rams, Seahawks. Seahawks, the surprise team of last year. And Rams, the biggest disappointment from last year. And then you get to Monday Night Football, probably the most anticipated game of week 1. And that is the Bills at the Jets. I'll tell you what, though. I'm pretty excited to watch a lot of these games. Panthers, obviously. But I can't wait to watch this Jaguars-Colts game. I don't know why. Because you have Trevor Lawrence with the Jaguars, and you have a good team that went from last. They were the team that went last to first last year. They made the playoffs. They had that comeback against the Chargers. It was incredible. And then you have the Colts, who man, they just can't get out of the headlines recently with Jim Irsay and Jonathan Taylor. And will his contract be, renewed, or will it not be renewed? What's the deal with the run? Oh, by the way, while we're talking about this running back situation in Indianapolis, you have a brand new quarterback there. So I'm very excited to see that game, because I think Anthony Richardson, he's not gonna be as good as Bryce Young, at least in year one. I promise you that. But I feel like he's one of those prospects that it's either going to be boom or bust. Like, Anthony Richardson is either going to be a generational franchise guy, or he's going to fall apart early and we're never going to hear from him again. Another game to look at here when you're previewing. Obviously, we touched on the Bills and Jets being one of the most anticipated games of the year. We already had the Super Bowl champions play. They lost to the Lions last night. Well, how about the team that they played in the playoffs they played them for the Super Bowl last year, that being the Eagles at 425, second game. They'll be taking on the Patriots. And I'm curious with the Patriots. What's the plan? You don't really have any weapons. You got Mac Jones, who's not showing any signs of being the guy. I wonder what the plan is. Is it a tank year? Is it, man, maybe the Patriots will be the worst team in the NFL this year, and they'll have their pick of quarterback? We don't want to see that. Even if they're like the 8th worst team. We've seen a team trade up for the number 1 pick. Is it out of the question? I mean, I couldn't see Belichick trading to the number 1 overall pick to get a quarterback, but if Mac Jones doesn't show any kind of improvement this year, how much longer do you think Belichick's going to want to stick around if he doesn't have his franchise guy? How much longer does New England want to keep him around? Could he be on the hot seat soon? I know, Bill Belichick on the hot seat. Are you crazy? I don't know. I'm just asking the question. They've been terrible the past couple of years. Ever since Brady left, man. I mean, it really makes you wonder, was it the quarterback or was it the coach? So that's kind of what we're looking at here as we get into week 1. We'll talk more about the Bills-Jets game, because I think that's one that's going to be a real important, setting the field for the AFC East this year. If the Bills come out and dominate week 1 against the Jets, I might want to take back some of the things I've said about the Bills not being real contenders this year. Because remember, during my Super Bowl prediction, I said they're not going to go this year. They're going to take a step back, probably be like a first-round elimination. And if you did miss that, a reminder for you, my prediction for the Super Bowl this year, Niners, Ravens, with the Ravens coming out on top. That's just the way we got Lamar Jackson with a new deal. He's got new weapons over there, a new offense, a high-flying offense, a lot of passing, good receivers over there now, a rookie, Odell Beckham. A lot of things to be excited about in Baltimore. And I mean, who doesn't love the 49ers right now? Brock Purdy. I mean, come on, it's Mr. Irrelevant. You can't hate on Mr. Irrelevant. It's impossible. Final score, Panthers-Falcons, 24-17. I got Bryce Young with 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. How's that sound? Sounds like a good game, I guess. We're heading up to the break here. I just wanted to at least get the final score out of what I think is going to happen for the Panthers this weekend. 1-0, man. We're starting the season 1-0. Stay positive, and it'll be a good. So you're listening to The Scoreboard with your host, me, Joe Berg, here on WSIC. Heading to a break. When we come back, we got Kansas Motor Speedway to preview. I think it's Motor Speedway, Kansas International, whatever it is. Kansas Speedway, Kansas Racetrack. The Cup Series is in Kansas, so stay tuned. We'll be back after this.
conversations that matter.
I gotta tell you, I'm afraid to even think about the next presidential election.
Led by you.
It's a mockery of American politics.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
The Ugly Antenna is bringing back old technology to help those without a streaming provider to watch up to 50 channels absolutely free. The Ugly Antenna is not the big, unsightly outdoor antenna of the past. It's new technology that is connected to your TV inside your home. You can get your Ugly Antenna by calling 704-682-1755. The Ugly Antenna isn't really all that ugly. Call 704-682-1755 to get yours today. That's 704-682-1755 for the Ugly Antenna.
And now a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. A 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms this evening, mainly before 9 p.m., and patchy fog in the morning. Overnight low will be around 66 degrees. And heading into tomorrow, rain is going to be the name of the game. 80% chance of precipitation throughout the day, so be alert. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Hey, listen, are you a 50-year-old person looking for term life insurance? Then you need to talk to Bob. Bob specializes in helping people find $1 million or more of term life insurance for a couple of $100 a month. Look, you need to know there's a price war in the term life insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call Bob, and he'll shop and see how much money he can save you. Look, this could be the last term life insurance policy you ever have. Your rates are guaranteed for the next 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rates for the next 20 years. And if you're a smoker or your health is not perfect, Bob has great rates for you too. So for $1 million of term life insurance coverage for a couple of $100 a month, call Bob right now. 800-989-1754. 800-989-1754. 800-989-1754. That's 800-989-1754. Paid for by Term Direct.
Attention! This is a public notice from the Social Security Disability Helpline. If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. If you suffer from physical or mental disability, whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. We'll evaluate your situation and deal with Social Security on your behalf. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. Remember, we only get paid if you win your case. There are many reasons and conditions that may make you eligible for disability benefits. Many of them you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call now to get started with your free, no-obligation consultation.
800-556-2974. 800-556-2974.
2 days to go until the Panthers officially begin their 2023 NFL season as they travel to Atlanta to get things started. I'm Jim Zocchi with the Panthers update after this.
Great play. Let's roll back the replay. Panthers mascot Sir Purr is on the Bank of America app.
He can't keep his paws off that phone.
Bank of America's digital tools are so impressive, Carolina Panthers fans just can't stop banking. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/can'tstopbanking.
You must download the latest version of the mobile banking app, only available on select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. Terms and conditions apply. Member FDIC.
New season, but against a familiar foe as the Panthers open their season in the unfriendly confines of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. And some history revisited as new Panthers coach Frank Reich was the Panthers' first ever starting quarterback when they opened their 1995 expansion season at the old Georgia Dome. Reich has had little time to think about that this week as he's more focused on the 2023 Panthers playing their first game under him against the Falcons.
They've established that they know how to run the football, can be dynamic in the play-action game. You know, on defense, they've done a lot of work to ramp up that defensive front to affect the passer better, so it'll be a good challenge and test for us up front. And then on special teams, right, they got the all-time great Cordell Patterson. So great opportunity for our special teams unit to go up against one of the best all time.
Also no stranger to this matchup is veteran cornerback Dante Jackson. He says playing a division team like Atlanta adds some juice to it being opening day.
Yeah, it's always just fun just to open the season, get football back, just to get back flying around, get the fans back in the building. That's always fun, but I think being a division opponent just ups the ante a little bit more, have everybody, a little bit on edge, and I'm sure that their locker room is the same way.
The Falcons lead the all-time series 35-21, including a 20-8 advantage in Atlanta. I'm Jim Zoki on the Carolina Panthers Radio Network, presented by Morris Jenkins.
Be a part of the conversation.
We can't fix America's debt by starving its people.
Have your say.
One shooting after another, and we're doing nothing to solve it?
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
All right, we are back here on the Scoreboard, WSIC 105.9, 100.7 FM, 704-873-1400. That's the phone number if you have something you'd like to talk about, a question burning the back of your head. Reach out. I'm here for you. I'm always here for you. We're going to talk some NASCAR. We'll move the NFL talk aside for the rest of the day. But just a reminder, the Panthers play on Sunday, so make sure you tune into that. Maybe they start off 1-0. I think they will, but we'll see. But we want to get into NASCAR now because on Sunday, we have a race. I know. So the NASCAR Cup Series heads to Kansas for the second race of round 1 in the playoffs. Kyle Larson already locking himself into the next round with his win at Darlington. And the way the points are shaking out right now, Michael McDowell is the farthest away from the cut line, 19 points out. And after a awesome underdog story to win at Indy and make it into the playoffs, he desperately needs a very good result with a lot of stage points if he wants to think about pointing his way in. Then we have Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 4 points out. Kevin Harvick, so upsetting, so sad what happened to him at Darlington, 2 points out. And Bubba Wallace, the first driver out. He's only a point behind Christopher Bell, though. And then only 3 points from the cut line is Joey Logano, last year's champion. He really hasn't shown anything this year. He's in danger of being round 1 elimination. I didn't see that coming. I don't know how many people did see that coming, but that's where we're at there. And that's how the points shake down as we get to race number 2. Now, remember, we have this, and then we have one more race after that. So we have Kansas, and then we go to the Bristol night race. It's not going to be on dirt. Just a reminder, it's not going to be on dirt, so you can wipe away your sweat on that one. It will be the normal Bristol night race, the Bass Pro Shops night race, 500 laps. And that's the cut line. Now, as we head to Kansas, we've talked about the domination that we've seen, not only from, Joe Gibbs racing cars there, but Toyota in general. Obviously, we said yesterday, earlier in the year, we talked about the Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson battle. Denny Hamlin wrecking Kyle Larson for the win on that one. And Toyota, yet again, winning. There's been 3 Kansas races in the next-gen car, and there have been 3 Toyota cars that have won. Here's what Christopher Bell has to say about Toyota's success at Kansas.
Well, for some reason, the Toyota next-gen car has really taken a liking to the high-speed intermediates. So, you look at Michigan, we've done really well. Kansas, we've done good. Vegas, all of those high-speed places we've ran exceptional at. So, for whatever reason, the Toyota Camry next-gen car has been good on those style tracks.
And it's very obvious when you look at the tracks that Toyota has done good on. He's right. And I expect them to do good again here this weekend. Now, we could see something crazy and maybe a Ford or a Toyota doesn't win. But Looks like we have a call coming in here to the studio. Let's go ahead and take that. Thank you so much for calling the Scoreboard here today. What's your name and what do you got for me?
Joe, I'm a Cowboys fan, and I just want your opinion on what you think they're going to do or how they're going to do this year. I have a good friend of mine who's a Giants fan, and I'm always trying to outdo him. So what's your opinion? You think the Cowboys are going to take it this year or what?
Well, if you mean take it as in win the Super Bowl, I don't think that they're going to win it.
Taking it all, because the last time they won the Super Bowl,
I wasn't even alive.
yeah, actually, that was before my daughter was born, and she's 28.
Wow, yeah, it's been a while for the Cowboys, America's team. I don't know if you can be called America's team if you haven't won the Super Bowl in over 25 years. Oh, I'm joking. All right. So, the Cowboys this year, they looked okay last year. Here's my thing about the Cowboys. Dak Prescott is entering another era where we're still waiting for him to show us that he is that guy and he is a franchise quarterback. Well, he's had good years. He hasn't had that great year where you say, Dak is the guy, we're going to rally around him and we're going to be, behind our fearless leader and all. He hasn't shown that, and he's getting up there in age for a quarterback who's mobile. He's not, I'm not saying he's near the end of his career by any means. But what I'm saying is, are we going to keep waiting for Dak Prescott to make this jump? Or are we going to say, you know what? He's 30 years old now. This is his 7th or 8th year in the league. He is what he is, and we need to kind of change the way we go about this. Now, I think Mike McCarthy might be trying to do that this year. They've talked a lot about trying to lean on the running game more, which is going to be big. But I just don't know if the Cowboys are going to have what it takes. When I look at the landscape of the NFC, it's very wide open, except for those top two teams. I still think the 49ers and the Eagles are the two best teams in the NFC. And then there is a pretty significant drop-off to the next tier of teams, and I would put the Cowboys in that second tier. Now, they probably could make a run if everything goes right for them, especially with, the defense that they've built, with Micah Parsons being in his second year. I just don't know if, when it comes to playoff time, if Dak is going to be the guy the way we've been waiting for him to be.
Go ahead. I think his time has passed. I was a big Dak fan in the beginning, but I think at this point, if he hasn't done it yet, he's not going to do it. I am going to the Carolina Cowboy game. My daughter surprised me with tickets. I'm going. I will wear my Dak Prescott jersey in support of him, but I think he's past his prime, and I agree. I don't think he's going to do. I don't think he could carry the team to a Super Bowl. My opinion.
Yeah. I completely agree. And I think that might be one of the reasons that Jerry Jones made the move that he did a few weeks ago, trading for Trey Lance for only a 4th-round pick. Because if Dak has another year where he's just not doing the thing that we want him to do, which is prove to us that he is an elite quarterback, they could say, all right, bye, Dak. We're not going to extend you. We have this young guy here who we're going to see, what does he have? Because the 49ers really didn't see what he had. So we're going to bring him in. He's a highly touted prospect who we really don't know. There's such a big question mark behind Trey Lance. And out of everything that Jerry Jones does that's very questionable, that move really was a good one. And it kind of indicates that's exactly what they're thinking, is if Dak doesn't have the year we want him to have, it's time to move on. But
so how many games would you give him? Because I'm not being that generous. I mean, I'm thinking first. I mean, if they come out of the gate 0-3 or 1-4 or whatever, or 2, whatever, I really think it's time to put the new guy in, because I don't want to throw. Honestly, I don't want to throw another season away. I mean, we've been close a couple times. It seems we get in there and then we lose in the first round or the second round. It's getting a little ridiculous, and we need to make a change. I do think that Jerry Jones is a big part of the problem, and I'm sure you agree with me. He sticks his nose and everything, and he would just leave it up to McCarthy and the coaching staff. I think the Cowboys would do a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, I appreciate the call today. We're coming up on a break. I do want to talk a little bit more of the Cowboys, so stay tuned. We'll be back after this.
Whatever the story,
We have to end our dependence on China.
have your say.
This debt crisis is going to set our economy back big time.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Looking for a night of laughs? This Saturday, Mike Goodwin, who's been on America's Got Talent, is coming to Kane Center for the Arts in Cornelius. Kane Center for the Arts' 2024 fall season, comedian Mike Goodwin. This Saturday, September 9th. For more info, visit kanearts.org. The Iredell County Agricultural Fair is going on right now. For $5 until September 9th, enjoy thrills and yummy treats. Going on at the Iredell County Fairgrounds in Troutman, the Iredell County Agricultural Fair runs through this Saturday. Apple picking at Kerrigan Farms is here. The apple picking at Kerrigan Farms is a very short window. Apple picking will end September 30th. Only in September. Book your experience now at kerriganfarms.com. The Full Bloom Film Festival is happening this week, September 7th, 8th, and 9th in Statesville. Happening on Meeting Street in downtown Statesville, the Full Bloom Film Festival features diverse quality cinema. Where I Belong, the documentary about the life of Statesville's own Rocky Lynn, will play twice. For more info, visit fullbloomfilmfestival.org. Lost Worlds Brewing is hosting their 3rd annual Harvest Market. Celebrate autumn on Sunday during the Harvest Market with tasty beer, food, and live music. This is happening at Lost Worlds Brewing in Cornelius. Harvest Market is from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. Sunday at Lost Worlds Brewing. For more info, visit lostworldsbeer.com. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
And now a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. A 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms this evening, mainly before 9 p.m., and patchy fog in the morning. Overnight low will be around 66 degrees. And heading into tomorrow, rain is going to be the name of the game. 80% chance of precipitation throughout the day, so be alert. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Listen up, Carolinas. It's Jeep Adventure Days at the #1 Jeep and Ram dealer, Lake Norman Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Our new dealership has the largest new Jeep inventory in the country, and we guarantee to beat any deal in the nation. I-77 exit 28, LakeNormanChrysler.com.
Listen for the latest short track racing news on PRN's At the Track, Sunday evenings at 7:30 on 100.7 FM and 1400 AM, WSIC.
Breaking news, expert analysis, and the stories that matter most, all in one place.
I totally acknowledge seeing flames is a scary situation.
WSIC News Talk Now.
All right, final segment here. It is Friday. I hope everybody is excited. I'm excited because that means we have football on the horizon. College football too. Don't forget about that. I know we've been talking a lot about the Panthers, but we do have college football coming up. And we talked about a few of the games. One exciting one is, a couple of local schools, UNC, Chapel Hill taking on App State. So, there's some good things going on in college football. Also, some bad things going on in college football. We can give the one finger salute to the NCAA for what they did to Tez Walker. We are still not happy about that. And I think it's absolutely hilarious that the NCAA on Twitter posted a day before the decision that they made on Tez Walker, this whole thing about, student athletes and their mental health. man, are you tone deaf? I mean, my goodness, what are they doing? I don't want to get into it. I'm not happy with the NCAA. We were talking a little bit about the Cowboys and their upcoming season, and are they going to be the team to get it done and come out of the NFC? And I just don't think they are. So Dak Prescott last year had statistically one of his worst years, 15 interceptions in 12 games. Didn't even start every game, and he really hasn't been the same ever since he came back from that ankle injury. And as I said, I'm a firm believer that the Cowboys and Dak Prescott, if he's not going to perform this year, he's going to be gone. We'll see him in a new uniform, because they really didn't think much when they released Zeke. They said, all right, man, we can't do anything with you anymore. See you later. We have Pollard and we're good. Well, it could be, hey, Dak, see you. We don't need you anymore. We got Trey Lance. We're good. I mean, that's the way it works in the NFL. If you're not performing, if you're not taking the step that you need to take, you're going to be gone. And I could definitely say everybody on the Cowboys, from the head coach to the quarterback to front office people, if they're not winning, Jerry is going to come down with an iron hammer this year, and he's going to fire some people. I can tell you that much. Jerry Jones wants to get that last championship under his belt. We haven't talked about the MLB today. I need to at least update some things before we get out of here, because I do want to go back to NASCAR coming up on Sunday, Kansas, yada, yada, all that fun stuff. Baseball. So Houston still holds the lead in the AL West, only a half game ahead of Seattle. And Texas, the Rangers continue to slump. They are now 3 games out of the AL West lead and a half game out of the wild card. Boston sitting 5 games out of the wild card. The Yankees took a loss to the Tigers last night, so their run to get back to 6 games out of the playoffs stalled out. They are 7 games back to that wild card. Still within striking distance now at this point. I mean, 20 some odd games left for most teams here. It's a long shot, but man, if they go on a run the way they did a week ago, they could gain another 6 games and be right there at the end of the season for the final week. It's going to be a crazy run as we get down to the end here, especially in the National League. There's a lot more teams fighting for a spot in the playoffs here. Arizona currently holds that spot. Miami, Cincinnati, San Francisco, currently out of the playoffs, looking to break in. These 4 teams have been flip-flopping who's in and who's out of the playoffs for the past 3 weeks. It is going to come down to the last day of the season, and we could have some tiebreakers. I mean, I'm not throwing that out there as like, yeah, we can have tiebreakers. No, like legitimately, we can have tiebreakers this year. We also have Atlanta continuing to pull away. Some news from the Dodgers. Walker Buehler will not be returning this year after his surgery. He will be back next year. So a unfortunate update from the Dodgers camp, especially after losing another starting pitcher, which we won't name him right now because we don't want to, because he's not a good person. But yeah, so that's what's going on in baseball right now. The Reds, the Scoreboard's team, our team, America's team, our team, Cincinnati Reds, 1 game out of the playoffs. Ellie De La Cruz might single-handedly bring them into the playoffs. I'm telling you, if he does something where he steals second, third, and home again, it's meant to be, and they're going to go to the playoffs. All right, back to NASCAR. I want to get a little bit more of a preview in here, and then I want to get my prediction in before we head out for the weekend. Like I said, it is Friday. I don't think we're going to see Toyota dominance. I don't. I think that we're going to see a break in the streak here, and we're going to see a new manufacturer win. But we're going to table this for a second. We have another caller into the studio. Thank you for calling in to the Scoreboard. What's your name? What do you have for me today?
My name is Joseph. I'm actually calling about NASCAR. I've been, following NASCAR for years. I think we have Kansas this weekend, and it's going to be a great race. Toyota and Chevy have put on a show over the past couple of races there between the Larson and Hamlin last lap pass, put in the wall, whatever you want to call it. But I think the bigger wild card is going to be Bristol. This is only our second race at Bristol in the next gen car, and it's going to be a wild one. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll go from there.
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, Bristol last year, we had a non-chase driver win. The first round last year was this crazy anomaly where we had not a single playoff driver win a race and lock their way in. It didn't start out that way this year, but Bristol is going to be such a big question mark this year, and I really hope that NASCAR removes the dirt from the spring race because it's too much of a gimmick now at this point. Like, let's get back to the real racing at Bristol because, hey, they're doing some things right, and fans are now starting to return to Bristol. I mean, it looks a little bit more full when they go there. So I think it's time to say, you know what, go back to the normal Bristol. That way, at least you can have some kind of an idea of what the car is going to do. I feel like NASCAR needs to do one of two things, and I've always felt this. I haven't really talked about this on the air before, but when we get to the playoffs, it should either be tracks that we've raced at once already or tracks that we haven't been to at all yet. I don't think there should be any in between because it'd be cool to see, a playoffs where it's like, hey, we haven't been to this track this year. Nobody knows who's going to be good. We have last year to go off of, but everything's different from last year. I think that would be cool. And, it starts with Bristol. Either keep the dirt and make it, every playoff race is a new track, or get rid of the dirt and say, hey, we've been to every single track, even Homestead. Like, does Homestead belong in the playoffs still? I don't know. We're kind of getting off on a tangent here, but yeah, Bristol is definitely going to be a wild card. But hey, appreciate the call today. I got a couple of minutes, so is there anything else you had for me?
I'm just looking. You've got Ross Chastain. I think he is a big wild card over these next couple of races just because he finished top 10 at both Kansas in the spring and Bristol last fall.
Yeah.
You've got Kyle Larson, who's already locked his way in, but Christopher Bell's another one. He led almost a third of the race at Bristol last year, but issues kept him from getting that win.
Yeah, and look, I'm not going to say that that Ross Chastain's going to be a non-factor, but that team has not been performing good here lately, and I don't know if they have enough time to turn it around. They still have a 13-point cushion to survive this round, but I don't know if we're going to see a big turnaround that fast from Trackhouse this year, but we'll see. Hey, appreciate the call. We got about 2 minutes here, so I'm going to go ahead and make my prediction for Kansas. We're going to have a playoff driver win. And it's not going to be a Toyota. Are you ready? Chris Buescher is going to win his 4th race of the year. I said it. RFK supremacy, baby. Chris Buescher is going to win, lock his way into the next round, and he's just going to continue this tear that he's been. He finished 3rd at Darlington. This is the hottest driver in NASCAR right now. How do you go against Chris Buescher? I don't think you can. He's going to lock his way into the playoffs, and then we'll have Bristol, and it's going to be awesome. But hey, thanks everybody for listening this week. It's been a good one. We had a little short week from the holiday, the Labor Day weekend last weekend. Next week, a full week. On Monday, we will review the Panthers game, make sure we know exactly how they did, who performed well. We'll talk about the NASCAR race. And then we get to preview some Charlotte FC too, because they'll be back in action next weekend. But we're going to let it just play out here on your Friday. Have a good one, everyone. I'll see you on Monday.